I haven't been in America for 27 years, and even when I was there, I didn't connect to Christians.
Yeah.
My impression is that Christianity, there's segments of Christianity that are going through very big changes that are on the same level as the Protestant Reformation. I think so.
Well, if you mean the church attendance is declining,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
If you
The church is in crisis.
If you mean that the fastest growing segment of the religious population is those who believe in nothing, that's true. But there's also, as we say, when the dark gets darker, the light gets brighter.
Yes.
And so there's also a love. And very good things happen in the Christian community too. But
I'm sorry, the Christians that I connect to, my gosh, are they strong in faith? They're on fire. Right. And they're learning the Old Testament and they're learning the New Testament. I'm writing an article now about this new initiative for Christians and Jews together to read the Bible daily and to go through the entire Bible, including the prophets and the writings in 1 year. And these people the Bible is very accessible. And these people are they're on fire.
And it is a wonderful set of resources. And I love the internet.
And a lot of them don't belong to churches.
Yeah.
So,
a lot have left the churches because they're looking for a more authentic community experience and deeper, and being able to go in different directions of study and so forth. Of course, you can go to church on Sunday and then do that.
And by the way, they can learn the Gemara also.
Yes, but can they really learn it just by reading it?
Okay.
Because this is the thing I was just going to say to the Christians. We have all these things accessible to us, but the level of depth of study, putting aside the identity of Messiah or whatever, but still the level of study and insight from the Jewish sages is amazing.
Yeah. Gemara was, I remember, after I learned in Yeshiva a while, you go to university and you go to the library and you see all these cubicles where everyone's in there. That is not learning. Okay? I mean, if you look at it, this book is ripped up, and because learning is not passive receiving.
Yeah.
Learning is an active process.
And
I just have to pound the book and underline and spill my coffee,
and it's not just done alone.
And it's never done alone. It is absolutely never done alone. If you go to Yeshiva, you always have, it is a room full of two guys facing each other and screaming at each other. Not always screaming, but there's this, and you get the hands going, and when you get to the point where and you'll understand this guy willing one day when you start using your thumbs, what this means.
And you did Yeshiva for how long?
Almost 10 years. It was about 10 years, full time. And when I say full time, I mean you'd wake up, roll out of bed, run to the spring, jump in the water, and if I wasn't praying, I was learning. There was nothing else you did. That's not exactly accurate. I mean, 4 years of it, 3 years of it, I was married, and you have to be a husband. So
yeah. And you've done enough yeshiva study that you could qualify as a rabbi, if you wanted to take that on.
I've done enough that I'm a little past that, to the point where I say
it's not important.
Right, and also whatever. Anyway, lo chashuv. But the point being that it's learning in pairs. It's like the cherubs on top of the Ark of the Covenant. They were facing each other. That's what you're doing.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
It's not. That's the simple meaning of it. Is where is Hashem? Hashem is in the place between.
Oh my goodness.
That's what real learning is. That is learning. I don't understand where Western society got this thing of. I mean, if you want to go by yourself, you're never by yourself. You're talking to Hashem.
So the Jewish view, and the Christians will understand why I said it. The Jewish view then is that where two or more pupils come together to study the Torah, Hashem is in the midst.
Exactly.
It's in between them.
Precisely.
Okay.
And in different learning partners, what happens between you is very special. I remember when your learning partner gets married, or when you get married, it's very, very special. There's something very special that happens. It's a very very deep connection. It's an intellectual meeting, and there's no question of that. And that's how you learn.
That is really, really.
I was told the Buddhists do that.
Huh.
I've never seen it.
Study in pairs.
Study in pairs.
And
it's a dialogue, and even you see here, it's like it's a give and a take. It's back and forth, and I mean, and it's not a matter of I mean, the study partner. It's important that you disagree.
Yeah.
It's there's a sweetness in disagreeing. Disagreeing is finding how you're special, and then I find how I'm special, and that only comes out in contrast when we're different.
Cool.
And I mean, Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. It's a very long story. It's beautiful, but the point is we have to disagree. I remember you said. We had one guy in our yeshiva. The guy was beyond brilliant. He was really. His rabbi teaches in Boston now. The guy was beyond brilliant. He was scary smart, and he came into yeshiva 4 months later, without knowing Hebrew. 4 months later, he was teaching the highest class. He was just brilliant, beyond brilliant. The problem was finding him a learning partner. And then one day I went away to the army for a couple of weeks, and I came back, and the Rosh Yeshiva, my rabbi, came up to me and said, "Okay, you're going to learn with him." And I'm like, "But he had, this second smartest guy in the yeshiva was learning with him." He's like, "Yeah, but he just chewed right through him." So I'm like, "So what do you expect from me? I'm not that smart." And he said, "No, you disagree with everyone." I'm like, "No, I don't. Stop it." He's like, you did it again." So I actually would sit down with this guy, and after a couple months, his wife walked up to me. She said, "Could you please stop it?" And I'm like, "Stop what?" She said he would come in every morning, and he would have this whole methodology, this whole theory worked out, and we would both have a cup of coffee, and I would just sit there like this, listening to him for an hour.
Yes.
And he would give out this entire holistic, rock solid theory, and then I would say, "Well, but and his wife said he will come home, and he's like, I had it all worked out." And then Eliyahu said the craziest thing, and then he had to rip it all apart and start over again and come up with something even better. And that's how he got to be even more amazing. And God bless him. And I learned so much from him. One of the things I learned is I'm not an idiot. And if I could listen to the smartest guy, this guy who is so brilliant, and not only understand him, but understand him enough to disagree with him, then he learned and I learned.
That's
cool.
I
mean, and that is learning. It's not just like, I'm the smartest guy in the class. I remember there was this one guy who was very upset that I wasn't learning. So I tutored him, and we learned together. And the next month, they actually gave a test, which is very rare. They gave a written test in the yeshiva. And he came up to me, he's like, "I'm really upset." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I was really excited about this, and I didn't get the highest grade." I said, "So who got the highest grade?" He said, "My learning partner." I said, "Aha, you won." You won. Your learning partner did the best on the test. That shows that you're the best Chavrusa. Chavrusa's learning partner. Right. So it's also really, really important to have a learning partner. That's essential to it. Also, when we learn Gemara, something that's really surprising is we would literally, and I'm saying literally, spend 4 hours every morning for a month on this much.
4 hours every morning for a month.
For this
on
month.
That little bit of Mishnah.
Maybe up to here.
I think that's Gemara. That's not,
right. Right.
Or the Mishnah passage starting in the first part of the Gemara that's explaining.
Right.
That's explaining
because there's so much to learn.
And the Gemara.
And the thing is, it's not about quantity, and it's not about the right answers. Like I said, it's a deeply internal process. Right. It's an internal process that goes very, very deep. Wow. It's very addictive when you're doing it right. It's really addictive. You just get very into like, how deep can I go?
That reminds me. That's what parents say about their teenagers and video games.
Yeah.
That they get really, really deep into it and try to go really deep. I wonder if there's something in the human soul.
I think there's
that
absolutely
is drawing to actually study and know something of great importance like this.
Well, I think that is the nature of reality, and that's another truth that you get from this. That the nature of reality is, Bob Odell drove up from Jerusalem to see me. Well, that's level 1. Level 2. Bob Odell is a deep friend of mine. Level 3, Bob Odell is an amazing neshama. And his neshama and my neshama are meeting, and there's something happening very, very deep under this. And you can keep digging deeper and deeper, and there are levels to life. Wow. Life has a very, we have the 5 senses, but life goes much, much deeper than that because Hashem created it. And Hashem goes much deeper than that. Each moment of life is a segment of the Ein Sof, of the eternal. So one way you can connect to Hashem is to learn the deep, deep levels of His Word. I mean, Gemara is a good vehicle for that. You can also do that with the Bible, with Bible study. A deep meditation going deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think there's definitely that. And I think one of the horrors of Western culture is they teach exactly the opposite. There's a nihilism. There's a here, be now. No, it's not about taste this. It's not about see this. It's not about the pretty car, which is actually only pretty until you scratch the surface, and then you realize it's made out of plastic. Life is much, much deeper, and it's not about the moment. It's not about the pleasure. It's so much deeper. I mean, we get a glimpse of that. Anything connected to Hashem more closely, you get a bigger glimpse of it. The connection between husband and wife is not a connection between a man and a woman. It's much, much more than that.
That's a good point.
Lighting a candle on Hanukkah or lighting a candle before Shabbos, it's not like flipping a light switch. It's a candle. It's so much deeper. And that is when you start connecting to Hashem. And that is what we're doing through the learning, is we're going deeper and deeper and deeper until, I'll read these words. And I've been over them so many times. The pages ripped, the lines are. At one point, I thought, sometimes what did I think when I underlined this? Why was this Dafka, these words so important? And just going deeper and deeper and deeper. I have stuff that it's just like, they take me to a different place, and that's, I haven't done all of this. To be honest, I think I've done 4 or 5 of these books.
I'm putting the camera on
and
pretty much the Talmud.
I've done a lot of sections. Look at the whole library. The whole library is like, and it's all like, it's at a certain point in my life, this book was what was doing it for me. At another point, this was important for me. And different people have different, but it's all about going deeper and deeper and deeper, and because the deep is how Hashem is. That's Hashem's nature. He can put eternity into a moment. He can contract himself, and that's what we want to do in our learning. It's not about acquiring lots of knowledge. It might be about acquiring a lot of knowledge about one little thing. Obviously, this beautiful thing came out because I connected to Bob. And that's what happens between me and Bob. And
thanks, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking us into your heart and into your library. This is wonderful. I thought I knew you, and now I know you even better. So
we're going to get to know each other.
Thank you.
God willing, you'll dance at my kid's wedding.
I love that.
Amen.
God bless.